Hello, everybody. I hope your week is going well. It's Monday, feels like a Sunday around the farm. This is Wilhelmina and the sheep, and Jim and the dogs are still snoozing, so I'm taking advantage of my time and the fact that I can now speak clearly. Of course, I cough. Excuse me. I have so much stuff to show you all. I don't know where I left off. I apologize for the gap in time, so please bear with me because I've got paper and books and linens and holy cow. I don't remember where all of this came from, except that these more current things came from a big box of I didn't know what was in the box, which to me is the most fun, especially if you get a good price on it. There was a lot of music, old music and newer, and these magazines were in it, and I've never seen them. Song hits. And it looks like I want to say 1943 or 45. That's the dates I found. And they are the lyrics to songs of the day. Many very cool ads. Bring on the girls. Oh, my hands are so sore. And it has all their names, tidbits about them. So it's kind of like an early Hollywood kind of magazine. Kind of like Billboard, maybe. But check out these ads. I am bringing them to Angela's sale. So watch for those. Man, you should see my desk. No, you shouldn't. I picked this book up. It was in my auction boxes. And I had bid on the box because of several books, but I didn't know this was in there. And I've never seen a Bonnie book. Have you guys seen that? And it is the most beautiful little book. And it was given out as perfect attendance on Sundays by the Latter-day Saints, 1949. And it was printed in 1949. But the illustrations are stunning. And I hope someone at the sale will grab this book up and keep it safe. Maybe copy some pages to put in journals. There's a sheep. I have never seen a Bonnie book. Now I have. I'm not sure it says who the illustrator is. It doesn't say anywhere. But it looks kind of familiar, doesn't it? Maybe. So there's a new one on me. I got some of these German medical publications. It's like probably our American Medical Association that the doctors all get with all the new stuff every month. And I can't read the date. Oh, jeez. I need to write these things down because I find them and I go, oh, okay. And then it goes in one ear and out the other. And it's all in German. There are tons of ads. It's matte but a little shiny. So if you're looking to add some cool German paper and interesting stuff to translate, I got you covered. I did look through to make sure there was nothing, well, nothing I thought was inappropriate, and these just seem like regular old industry magazines. All kinds of different text, lots of ads. And this one even has a little card to request things. I'm going to try to go faster than the last one because the last video, holy cow, if you made it through, thank you so much. This was something new to me that I had never seen. I had no idea what it was. And when I started researching, how cool is this? This is a music cue sheet, and it's from Metro-Goldwyn-Mayer Picture, and it's for an hour-long silent movie. So they gave these, this is the music they recommended to go with the movie. And apparently, I didn't know any of this, they had organs and organ players and orchestras and musicians and singers who would give the background music to these silent movies. And can you imagine? You need a 1 1/4 minute, 2 minutes, and you had to follow along so you had the timing right on these films. It even says length of film reels, 5,000 feet. Projection time, an hour. So it goes through this whole thing, and what it does is it would tell them the tone of the music, like sad music or happy or angry. I want to say these are from the 1920s, early 1923, I think I found on them. Isn't that cool? I learned something new. My favorite part of what I found in that box is all of this old music. I just think these were so beautiful. Copyright 1879. And there was music for voices, violin, even ukulele in there. Oh my goodness. And this is very, very obviously old paper. It does not tear, it does not, I mean, it's just gorgeous. And you know me and my paper. And just the artwork is stunning to me. She signed this on 1883, so they kept really good close attention on their books, because I'm sure they were dear to buy. So this was an actual book. Has this stamp from the seller. It was from Gladys Ann Carpenter. And this is another book. And it is German. Not quite as old on the paper. And you can find the age, or at least approximate age on these, because most of them, this is a teaching book, most of them will have the music copyright down below. And this I don't even think was used, because there's some pages back here that aren't even cut. I did not find a date in this one. So there's that. But the old paper in these, I never really paid much attention to music sheets. But now I do, because I know more about paper, and I just you know what I'm going to say. It's fascinating to me to see the paper. I have collected these over time and then never showed them to you. This is teeny tiny work. It's in excellent condition. Hopefully you can see that. This was cute embroidery. It's a long one. So much work in these details. Not sure when, I don't see a date, but you could look up the linen. I'm always guessing on things because I am not an expert. I'm not an expert on anything, but I buy what I like. This is the little pillow. I think it must have been for a baby. A little gingham. It's hand stitched, I believe. And it's beautiful. This feels like it would have been maybe a flour sack, maybe. Feels like cotton to me. Something that they had available when they did that. This has got some tatting on it. This little napkin. I need to learn more about these linens and fabrics, and instead of just saying, I like it. I think this is one you would have found in one of the boxes for a souvenir. And this is a holy moly amount of work on this one. This is twice this long. It says Splish Splash on it, and it's all little birds in the bird bath. It has some stitching that has worn away, and this is the side. This is all one big piece. Isn't the red work just beautiful? I can do a little embroidery, but mostly just French knots, and then when I mess them up you can't tell because they're knots. And I know that this is cross-stitch embroidery, but I don't know what these little cool knots are everywhere. I don't know if those are French knots or a special kind. And this was hand sewn. You can see the stitches where the lace was attached. And it is also a pillow cover. A lot of work in this, that's for sure. And then I found some of the regular old kitchen towels. I think they're linen or a blend. But again, I'm guessing. And wouldn't these be fun to stamp on? They could be a lot of fun. You could make little envelopes with them to put things in, little treasures. All kinds of fun stuff. And then there's two blue ones. So, let's see. What am I going to put you through now? And again, I'm trying to show you what I see when I see books. This is the Collier Self-Indexing Manual from 1903. And it's a reference book again. And it is not really a book to write home about. The pages are kind of matte but shiny. But the paper would be amazing for journal pages. And it's the events of that year. And it's set up A to Z. And there are illustrations. So really that kind of opens to me the expanse of what I could use a book for. lots of men. But there are usually sections dedicated to stage. Oh, there's Jolly scratching at the door. I have to let him in just 1 second here. Hold, please. Been trying to organize in here. I may fall, but don't worry. Jolly will get me up. Come on, get in here. Hurry up. No messing around. I got stuff to do, buddy. Keep going. He stops in the middle of a walkway here and plops his butt down and we can't get around him. So anyway, I look at these books. They've got, again, if you're into the plates, you want to make sure they're in here because this is what people take out of books. Lots and lots of graphs. Here's some ladies. When you get into the stage actresses and actors, there are some really neat pictures from the operas and the stage productions. So I do look for these. And you could too. A heavy book. You would have a lot of stuff there to use. And then I have another one that I recommend watching out for these big books. Because you just don't know. They're big books and we cannot lie. Let me move these pretty white-ish things. Oh. This is the Gateway to the 20th Century. When I saw it in the auction pictures, I knew it was a big book. It has a great cover. I think it's linen. And let me tell you, I won't be able to use it for what I intended to use it for, because I wanted to have something where I could, when I did a journal, I could go in here and find something happened the year the book was printed and add that in. But it didn't work out to be that. I'm not sure why that's in here. But this is from 1962. And all it is artwork and drawings, and the paper is outstanding. You can see I've already been after it. Some of the articles go back to 1895, but again, I will never run out of really cool paper to put in my journals for pages. And I've taken the little pictures off these big pages and used those somewhere else, but I love how amazing these look. So don't discount these big old books, because you can do anything with these pages. But I know you know that, but when I started this, I didn't look at everything with an eye to the journaling. So this is on my shelf, and when I make a journal, especially a big one, these go in because they're cool. Oh, jeez. You'll know exactly why this one came. You can't see anything on it. It's got some embossing on the right corner. Ships. But you couldn't have guessed that, right? Old ship prints, and not sure I want to say this was from the 60s. Nice seal there from the library. 1927, just a little bit off. So it's the history of ships. And it's bound kind of differently. I did take some pages out already. Let's see. I don't know why they did it that way. I don't know. But again, beautiful paper. And of course, ships. Big ships. And like I said, you know this stuff, but it was quite an adventure for me to not only be able to use the things that have followed me home my whole life and to share them, but to look at books with a new eye to what they might do for me or other people. It's just a beautiful book. And I'm sure I'm singing to the choir, but this has kind of been my journey as far as finding things and deciding what to do with them. Here's another one. It was in the bottom of an auction box, and I picked it up and I was like, I'm not sure about this one either. But when you open it up, it has just beauteous things in there. This would fold in half for a journal page, or in thirds, and like I said, I'm probably boring you to tears, but I just never would have thought of this stuff before I met all of you in the journaling world. The easiest method of ascending Mount Pilatus in Switzerland, that does not look too fun to me. With my luck, that train would have been heading backwards and I would have been in the back seat. And it goes state, countries. There's Egypt. Uh-oh, these guys are in trouble. Criminals in the stocks. I'm trying to go faster in this video. The last one I really took a lot of you guys' time. I also purchased, where did I get this one? This was a purchase because I like it and I love ledgers. This is from the 20s. It's from Detroit Creamery, and it's their patron's stub for when they bought the milk cream from them. And it's Velvet brand ice cream, and the checks obviously were given to the customer to pay them. So this is the carbon copy that they kept. It's a little fragile, but not too bad. And I thought, wow, look at all that blue writing. That's different. So I will be sharing this as soon as I figure out how to take it apart carefully. And it's all the same thing, front to back. Hundreds of pages. And then this treasure, I found at a flea market. It's the policy record for the Royal Insurance Company of Des Moines, Iowa. And I did not need more ledgers, but all the more to share with you guys. It has writing, except for the index, on every page. I kind of put notes in where I saw certain words like railroad. I believe this was the lawyer for the firm, or the lawyers, and they did all the property insurance, and just, I love the writing. The little pencil marks you can always erase. That was how they marked off where they were in their work and when cases were finished. Absent owner, absolute owner. Oh my gosh, excuse me. And it is from, I think it starts out in the late 1800s. More railroad lawsuit. And they kept deeds. And there are divorce records in here, which I find extremely interesting. These are from 1865, which would have been the Civil War time. And I was surprised to see rulings in favor of women. Where is this one? Oh, nice. There's fly. Decree of divorce, granting alimony and full of dower, so she must have come with land when she married him. Alimony, maintenance, and charges against to execute deed for all of the property of said. And there were a couple in here that talked about what happened to her and why they were divorcing, and I would say most of them came down on the side of the woman and her children. And I found that to be really interesting in that time frame. Sorry. I thought I was all done coughing for today. So the first entries come in 1853. And this travels all the way through time to 1916. That's all this writing. So somebody put in a whole career at this company. And I looked the country up briefly. Company. And this is an insurance company that was involved in a later effort to hold these companies accountable. This company started in England, and it was for the, it became Lloyd's of London. And early on, the East India Company used their ships for slave trade, and even after that was outlawed in England in 1811. So what they did, the captains would take policies out on their cargo, and then if something happened to them, or even if they like threw people overboard, they still got paid for that person's value. So what this government said, turn over your records. We want to know how many people were injured, insured, and who got paid for them. So the business people with East India Company and a lot of others, they were the biggest one. I have to finish reading, but the idea was to get some restitution for families of the people that were transported and sold, etc. And they were coming down on the companies for insuring them, insuring lives of people who had no control over what was happening to them. I need to continue that research, and I think I'm gonna let you go on that note. I think that was the most of what I wanted to show you. I'll find something else, I'm sure. I've got piles and piles of things. But for now, I have a couple videos done and I can get back on track. So I hope that you will stop by our live sales. I will be doing one Wednesday the 17th at Mary's channel. I'll put links in, and then on Thursday, the next day, I will be at my usual spot at Angela and Carol's live sale, Traveling Crafter, where I moderate for the most part, but I have been selling a few things. So there's lots of good stuff, and I hope you'll pop in. And I hope you have a great week, and I look forward to chatting with you when you have time. Thanks a lot, everybody. Smooches from the sheep.